to another edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. Another great show in store for you. Rivalry edition. Rivalry edition. Doesn't get any better than this, folks. We get a chance to do it every week with guys who wore the uniforms for the Maize and Blue, who coach as well, so they see it from multiple perspectives. But we're also bringing in guests that can give you extra added perspective this week here on Dropping Dimes. We love you that much and going to do it for you special here on the holiday. Joining me as he does every single week, the best athlete I've ever seen with my own two eyes at the high school level. He obviously did it at a high level at the University of Michigan, played in the National Football League as a first-round draft pick. We called him our Bo Jackson. You'll see what I mean by that when we get to our guests. But we called him our Bo Jackson. I'm talking about none other than the head football coach at Wayne State University, Mr. Tyrone Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too, my friend. And I know you have great perspective on this rivalry, having played in it. So looking forward to hearing your perspective on it again today. Of course, Mr. Daniel Horton, who was a wizard of the hardwood, did it on in a different arena, came from the state of Texas and got a dose of it different. But I think you learned real quick what it meant to be a Wolverine and have those guys down in Scotland and Gray looking at you a certain way, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a unique, like you said, unique perspective. I'm a Texan originally from Louisiana whose grandfather grew up in Cleveland and was a Buckeye. So when I chose Michigan, I had a certain part of my family, why did you choose me? But, once I got to Michigan, I definitely learned.
Yeah, you learn real quick.
Yes, sir.
Get indoctrinated for sure. And it never leaves you. You learn that, boy, you drive across the state line and you have Michigan plates. Yeah, you might get stopped. Man, you better drive the speed limit because they're looking for you, right? You go to the rest area. You go in pairs. Like it's real serious down there in the state of Ohio when you're from the state of Michigan. They take it. It's not a joke. It's not a game. And when the game is played, man, it's real. And so that's why when they're a 24-point favorite last year, I think it was. That's why it's still a game, fellas. People didn't think Michigan had a chance in hell of winning that game, and they won it because they dictated the terms of the fight. I learned that from Jared Irons a long time ago, former captain at the University of Michigan. He said, Sam, that game is not all about the talent on the field. That's what you guys who haven't played in the game don't understand. It's more than just the talent on the field. And that was talent has something to do with it. We make no mistake. Kevin Grant had unbelievable games, but it was more than just the talent on the field. Last year was a perfect example of that.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and Jared was correct. I mean, he was absolutely correct. Just think about the time in 1993 when they walked in. I think they were ranked number 2, almost 5 or 6 first-round draft picks on the team, and we get them 28-0. It's one of those deals where you have bottled up emotions, you have the history behind it and everything. And then, for us, who in the hell wants somebody getting gold pants, right? You're wearing gold pants, not on our watch. So you hit an emotional chord and you go deep somewhere that, sometimes you shouldn't go as a human being, but this game, that's where it goes, and you can see this as another game. It's not just another game. It isn't.
Yeah. So we around here think that Michigan, Ohio State is the biggest rivalry in sports, right? It's not the only rivalry. There's this other game called the Iron Bowl.
Iron Bowl, yes.
It's big time, right? I mean, heated. You go down south, you go in the state of Alabama. I mean, man, I heard something about a tree getting poisoned one time. Hey, man, it's real down there. And I know a guy who won it at the highest level, had one of the greatest players ever to play this game they call college football. He's with us today to give us some perspective on rivalries, what it takes to win. He's been around the Michigan football program. He was up during spring ball. Saw Bryce when he first arrived on campus, as he's practicing for the first time in the spring. Bird's eye perspective on things. He's going to impart some of that wisdom on us and upon you. Joining us, coming to the stage right now, former Auburn head football coach, a national champion coach, Coach Gene Chizik, coming to the stage.
Go War Eagles.
What you doing?
Good afternoon, man. Yes, go Michigan, War Eagle. I got it all. I got it all in my rivalry arsenal, right? Including when I was a DC at Texas OU, Texas A&M. Been in a lot of big ones, man, but I know they don't get any bigger than this one with Michigan, Ohio State for sure.
Yeah, that is right. It is absolutely the pinnacle of sports. And when I said to Tyrone earlier, Gene, I said, people who haven't been in the arena, it's either a player or a coach, it took a player, a captain at that. He said, you don't understand that it's not just talent in a game like that. You got to be in it to understand what it means, the emotion, the pressure, to be able to play through, the emotion. That was kind of the difference for Michigan when maybe Ohio State had more talent a lot of those years, to Wheat's point, Gene, and that's what makes a rivalry, right? When you can throw the records out and it still be a game.
Yeah, and that's what makes college football so great, right? When you look at the Michigan, Ohio States, the Auburn, Alabamas, the Texas OUs, I can go down the list. Those are the things that people talk about for generations, right? And you're exactly right. What makes a rivalry great? Well, I know down south here, if you're talking about a game 24/7, 365, that's called a rivalry. Yeah. And I know exactly what happens with the Michigan-Ohio State game. It's the exact same thing. It never leaves you. Matter of fact, when you walk into the building as a coach or a player at either one of these schools, whatever side you're on, it's talked about every day. At Ohio State, they're saying, how do we beat Michigan? In Michigan, they're saying, how do we beat Ohio State? That's in June. That's in March. That's January 1st. That never leaves you. That's what's great about these rivalries. And again, you can throw out the records. I know I wasn't aware of exactly what the point spread was or how big of an underdog Michigan was last year, but they won their fourth straight on the road. And I don't think anybody saw it coming. So when you define a rivalry and what that means, it truly means throw the records out. This is a different process in preparation. It's a different process in execution. When you get to game day, throw the records out. Anybody can win it.
So when you made it up to Michigan in spring, obviously you got a chance to see them on the ground floor of Chip Lindsey sort of install of his system and philosophy, and see Bryce as he's learning on the ground floor. Just your early impressions of this team and of Bryce and what Chip was putting in.
Well, I'll start at the top. I was very impressed with Tyrone Moore to start out with. His involvement with the players, in the meetings, the tone and the message that he set every day, not just with his words, but how he practiced. I stayed around for 2 or 3 days of practice in the spring, not just to see Bryce. Bryce was there, but I wanted to see what Michigan does. How is Michigan going to win? And Chip Lindsey is a dear friend of mine. And Chip and I have had many conversations about, him coming in for the first time and the things that he feels like he needs to do to get the offense to the next level. Part of that is running the football. Part of that is toughness. Tyrone was an offensive lineman. So, if your head coach was a former offensive lineman, you better hope that you're tough enough to run the football, because as I always talk about this on TV when I'm doing my shows. You got to be a balanced football team. What does that mean? That means that, balance doesn't mean that every day we go back and we look on Sunday and we were 50-50 run pass. It means if you got to run the ball to win, you're able to do it. If you got to throw the ball to win, you're able to do it. That's called a balanced team, right? And you've seen from Michigan over this year, and I saw it in spring practice, them working on those things to be able to run it. It's not, people are going to look at Bryce Underwood and they're going to say that he ought to be the next Cam Newton, if you will, as a freshman. He's not going to be that. He's thrown for over 200 or over 2,000 yards, and he's had some really, really great football games, and he's going to be a great player. But he's 18 years old, and he just got there. So he is going to turn the ball over. Yeah, he might throw for 9 or 10 touchdowns. He may throw for 4 or 5 interceptions. So that's kind of the growth that you're seeing. But he is definitely the future of Michigan football. But as long as they have the edge to run the football, play great defense like Wink's got them doing over there, they're always going to have a chance to win.
Yeah, it was a tough, I think, thing for fans to accept, Gene, that he's a 5-star. He's the number 1 player in the country. He got all this NIL money. So there's an expectation that allows you to skip steps, that because of those things, because you're number 1, because you got paid a lot, that, he's just automatically a veteran. And it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't.
No, it's unrealistic expectations. And I'll give you another one. What do you think? How fair was it for Arch Manning to be dubbed the next Heisman winner? This man didn't even start last year. But they're going to throw the Heisman in his lap before game 1. The expectations are, to be honest with you, on guys like Bryce and him. And look, part of that's our fault. We're the media, right? We blow them up to be whatever they're going to be. But it's unrealistic expectations. And as long as within the building, Chip Lindsey, Sharon Moore, Bryce himself can, look to every day, go through the process. Don't worry about the product. Go through the process of being a better football player, understanding ball, being that football junkie, getting better at protecting the football. The little things every day. Bryce is going to be what Bryce is going to be. He's a very talented kid. He's got some traits of Cam Newton, and I've seen it. And so, but it takes time. This is not add water, instant quarterback. That's just not the way it works.
So we got another guest that you know very well. It's like an Auburn reunion here tonight. And so he figured it out. Gorgeous Borges, ready to join the stage. And we have him in the building. Al, how you doing, Al?
I'm doing great, man. How you guys doing?
Yeah, it's good to see you, Al. You made it. And we got Gene with us. And
what's up, Chiz?
Al, you look as gorgeous as ever, my man. And you're fashionably late, I might add.
Fashionably late.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard Al speechless, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah. It's to watch a quarterback mature, though, and to figure out how do you do it? How do you not rush him? How do you bring them along at the right pace? I mean, that to me is part of coaching that I try to observe, because I was asking Al that all season. Okay, how much more do you put on this plate? Because you want him to hurry up and do a lot, but you also don't want to overwhelm him. And I thought Chip has done that pretty well.
Are you talking to me, Sam?
I'm talking to both of you, Al. We're like dance partners.
Well, usually it's just you and me. Now I got everybody else. I'm not sure whose turn it is, but I'll go ahead. The biggest thing with a young quarterback is extrapolating information, okay? So when you give him too much, he's not only got to extrapolate what he has with regard to the plays and all that, but he's also got to do the same with the defense, okay? So the best thing with a guy that isn't real experienced is to give him a streamlined group of plays that he can run. You do the disguising of the plays. I mean, if you have motions and shifts and all that stuff, whatever you do. But make the plays so that he can process them under pressure, okay? And don't inundate him with so much offense that not only is he trying to figure out what the defense is doing, he's also not only trying to figure out what he's doing, but he's trying to figure out what the defense is doing too. And that's just too much for a guy that hasn't seen all the looks. Now, if you get a guy that's played a lot, and kind of understands what you're doing from the get, then you can be more extravagant with how you approach it because he's seen the looks, he knows what you do, and he gets it pretty quick, and the mistakes are generally minimal. But a guy like Bryce, who hasn't even finished the season yet, like I say, you got to go through a season. When I hear people say, "Well, he's not a freshman anymore; he's played 8 games," BS. You got to play the whole season, go through a spring football, and then process the information as you go, digest it in the offseason. And the next year when you go out there, you've ironed out a lot of mistakes. You know the offense better. Everything comes so much more naturally. But he's still, he's going to have a lot of game-specific errors. It's just that simple because the game is different on Main Street than it is on State Street because of the pressure of the situations. It's the only time the quarterback gets hit. You never hit the quarterback in practice. So now he's taking shots in the game, and the pressure's on. There's referees. There's 100,000 fans. There's just things that's going to happen that you cannot recreate in the practice as much as you think you might be able to.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this too, guys. I think Al was, the year we were together in 2004, Al was one of the best at it. We had a young man named Jason Campbell who ended up being a first-round draft pick. And to be fair, Al played a huge role in that. The year before, they wanted to run Jason Campbell out of town here at Auburn. We weren't very good offensively, and there were some other issues. But, Al came in, simplified. Now, he was a little bit different because he was an older, more experienced guy. But, that's the job of a quarterback and a coordinator and a quarterback coach, right? What can your guy handle? You have to be very judicious when you're dealing with a young quarterback, And we dealt with the same thing with Cam, Gus and I, with what can he handle? When he can handle, you spoon feed him a little bit of this and a little bit of that. If he can handle that, then you go on to the next thing. But as you guys have heard a million times, it doesn't matter what we know or Al knows as a quarterback coach. It only matters what that young man sees on the field, can, take in and absorb and actually respond to and react to and be efficient. That's the only thing that matters. And if it's too much, you're going to get a lot of flaws in his game. And that's what the coordinator and the quarterback coach is there to decide.
And you notice what Ches said there. He says it doesn't matter what he knows or what you know. He didn't say it only matters what he knows. No. It only matters what he can do, okay? What he can perform, how he does. It's what he can digest and do under pressure. Because he may know a lot of stuff or supposedly know it because he can draw it on the board and do a lot. But if he can't do it under pressure, then he doesn't really know it. And it only matters that I know it if I can send that message. You know what I mean? The biggest thing with Jason that's different from Bryce is Jason had run a lot of offense. I mean, he knew a lot about the game already, and he'd seen a lot of defense. Where this kid's last defense he saw was, at where did he play? I can't remember anymore. But it was in high school, okay? And now all of a sudden you're playing against some team, that's who I don't know who they play early. They played USC. Okay, now you're playing USC. Well, that's a lot different from the guys he saw at Belleville High School. I promise you that. So it's a learning process that doesn't come as fast as you want it to come, and never comes as fast as the fans want it to. But be that as it may, that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to be.
So I'm curious, you guys as coaches who have had the quarterbacks who are young, you go in a game like this with a coordinator who is real tricky, likes to disguise a lot of things, especially with his safeties. How do you handle that with a young quarterback, and how do you where's the tell? I once had a coach who said, "Hey man, there's always the tell. There's always you can kind of find a context clue, but how do you handle that with a young quarterback that's going against a coordinator like Matt Patricia, that's like his bag? He's going to figure out how to try to trick you."
Again, I think you got to streamline what you're doing and do things that he's comfortable with, okay? So that he knows that stuff, and all he's got to worry about is what the other guy's doing, okay? Now, the other guy's going to, the whole idea of the defense, particularly on the back end of the defense, is to fool the quarterback. You don't want to play the game against the coordinator. The coordinator gets paid to beat all that stuff if it's obvious. But if you can screw the quarterback up, and particularly a young quarterback, then you got him where you want him. So you got to make it so that he understands what he's got to do with a streamlined group of plays, okay? He knows, and you make him aware of the fact that they're going to try and make you think they're doing something that they're really not doing. But there's no such thing as disguise once the ball snapped. Once the ball snapped, they got to get where they belong, okay? So, yeah, use the pre-snaps as a clue, but don't lock into them because you know what they're trying to do to you, right? Go through your progression, understand where the ball you're looking first, second, and third. Try not to stare down reads and play within the system. And don't get caught up in, well, the safety moved 2 inches to the right, the corner moved up right here. Oh, then all of a sudden they spun the safety down, or they're in a quarters coverage and they jumped down and played zero covers and blitz. Let it all happen and understand the system, how it works and how the progressions work and how your footwork ties to the progressions. And more often than not, you can hang your hat on that.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge of different proportions for a young fella who we've seen grow over the course of the season. I'm curious, as you watch a quarterback sort of grow in his process, Gene, if you go back and go through Cam's maturation, I know it was a different stage with him, but what do you remember about his growth over the time that you coached him and how rapidly he came along?
Well, Cam's evolution was a little bit different. To Al's point earlier, you don't really ever know what you have in a quarterback when you have him in spring and you have him in fall camp. You just don't know what you have. Well, number one, the reason you don't know what you have is because you can't ever hit them. So you can't tack them. You can't sack them. And Cam's 6'5", 255 pounds.
Right.
So we felt like he was very athletic and we felt like he'd be hard to tackle, but we didn't really know until our first game, and nobody could tackle him. And then we said, well, that's Arkansas State. Well, the next thing you know, it's Mississippi State. Well, they can't tackle him. Clemson next. They can't tackle him. I can go down the list. Nobody could tackle him. So the first thing that jumped out at us was his ability to, obviously, we incorporated the design quarterback runs. And then his escape ability was unbelievable. He had a sixth sense. He had a pocket presence for a quarterback that you can't teach. He could feel it. He knew when it was coming. And he had the athletic ability to escape. But he, game by game, as a passer, as a thrower, he became more confident in knowing what he saw post-snap. And as he became more confident recognizing and understanding, and I thought Gus did a great job with him on all the post-snap stuff. Now, I will say this because we were able to cheat a little bit. We had stuff built in early in the season where we didn't put everything on him. We didn't put all the protections on him. We didn't put every single check on him. So we would have check with me's. We'd let the defense show their hand, and then we were able to clap it, look to the sideline, and get him into the right play. And as the season progressed, then we were able to, give him and feed him a little bit more and more and more to be able to do that, autonomously on his own. So he grew in that. But the thing that I remember, it was about after our fourth or fifth game, we had played South Carolina, and we were down, I think, 14 points, and he just took the game over. I mean, absolutely took the game over. But that's when I saw him start to be real confident in his ability to post-snap read, and he was accurate with the football. He was decisive with the football. I've always said this about every quarterback. I've actually had 6 first-round quarterbacks on my team. Back in the day, starting with Dante Culpepper, Vince Young, I can go down the list. As lately as Drake May. Every single one of those dudes had the ability to be decisive, accurate, and they made great decisions. And yeah, they made their mistakes here and there, but they were not patting the football. They were not indecisive on where they were going. They knew where they were going with the football. They were accurate with the football. So those are the things that I saw Cam, as the season evolved, he became very decisive. He knew where he was going with the ball. He was very accurate when he threw the ball because he was confident and decisive. And then you just saw him get better and better and better. And I'd say halfway through the season, that's when I said, well, he ain't coming back. He ain't going to be back here next year. When he started throwing the ball, I knew he could run it. But when he started throwing the ball like that, I said, he's out of here. He's gone. He's a one and done. And He obviously was.
Yeah, the rest is history. So, like I said, I know it was a different stage. He was JUCO before that, and he passed you into history, into a championship. It's a different stage of development. But I asked that question for a reason. I mean, we've seen Bryce mature over the course of the season. He's in a different place mentally, and you're in a game now where it's the last game of the season. It's Ohio State. How much do you put on his plate in this game? And how much more? And how much more are you willing to run him? He's not 255. He is maybe 230, maybe 235. I mean, do you just say, hey, man, you know what? I just got to let it all go if you're coaching him in this game. If I got to run him 15 times in this game, I'm going to run him 15 times in this game. What's your approach as far as that's concerned?
Well, if you're talking to me, I'm doing whatever I got to do to win the game. Period. If I got to run him 15 times, I'm going to run him 15 times. I'm certainly going to go in with a game plan that I feel comfortable with him throwing the football. But before I even talk about that, I'm talking about how are we protecting him? What are we doing to protect this guy? And so that's, and look, I think he's been sacked 16 times this year, up to this point. And you're looking at a defense that gives up 7 points a game, and they got pass rushers everywhere. So the first thing you don't want him to do is get in a rivalry game like this where everything's on the right line. He's a Michigan kid. You better find a way to protect him to the best of your ability because those guys are going to be coming after him. And Patricia's going to have all kinds of different exotic things to do that. But I'm looking at how to protect him first. And yes, if the quarterback +1 run game is the great equalizer, because the last thing you want to do is be bad on first and second down, and then every third down you're living in 3rd and 7+. That's not a good way to live in this game, not with those pass rushers they got. So you got to find a way to be good on first and second down with him, whether that's spot screens, getting the ball out fast, quick game, quarterback run game, mix in the tailback runs. They've been successful with a lot of their tailback run game. But for me personally, if I'm going in this game, I'm letting it all hang out. This is it. I mean, this is the game. So look, dude, everybody put their armor on. If I got to have you run it 15 times, I'm going to have you run it 15 times. And we're having that conversation before the game. And I had those conversations with Cam. And you know what he said? When I said, dude, if I need you to run it 20 times, are you good with that? Coach, I'm good with 20, 25. Just give me the ball. And that's the way they should be in these games. And I'm not talking about just Cam. I'm just talking about guys in general. You're laying it on the line. Everything you got in your whole being is about winning this football game. So tell me what I need to do, Coach. I'm in. And that's the way they all should be, no matter what position they play.
Al, you watched Ohio State. I don't know if you watched any Patricia games in the NFL. It feels like quarterback using his legs going to be at least more of a part of this game than it has been for Michigan in recent games. Is there a sweet spot you think for that as part of the weaponry in this contest?
Yeah, I think so. I'm with Chiz, man. Let it rip. I mean, and like in this game, and it's the last game, right, or the last game on the schedule anyway, is I would just be footloose and actually free with the quarterback runs at this point. You lose a quarterback in game 1 or 2, you want to jump off a bridge, but when it's this late and you're playing such a formidable opponent that everybody wants you, everybody's very much invested in beating, there's no limits. You empty the drawer. If it takes him running the ball, whatever number, let him run off the ball. He's going to run it anyway off improv. We know that. I've charted every one in every game. He ran or passed off an improv play 9 times last game. Okay. Now that's without a design run. Okay. So if you were to set a couple design run, which I think they are somewhat vulnerable to, because some of the videos I looked at from previous games and some of the ones you sent to me, the quarterback's running on them some. So to set a nice little package, a handful of running plays for the quarterback, again, things that are related to things that they do so that the big guys don't have to learn anything new. They know how to block for a draw, and it's easy to put a quarterback draw in to start with. It's easy to put a quarterback counter in because they run the hell out of the counter anyway. Okay, it's not hard to put a quarterback power in because power's a big part of the offense. So, and all it does is it adds a blocker, which equalizes the front in terms of hats. You can get all your hats on their hats, and you got a kid that's, he's not as big and strong maybe as Cam Newton, but he does have some running dimension to him. And it's late this season, so let's go. So again, I don't know that I'd even put a number on it. I just say, well, let's just do what we got to do to win this game. And if it means a quarterback gaining 100 yards, that's fine by me. I don't care. I don't think anybody else will care as long as they're raising that big M flag at the end and singing the victors, So it's an empty the drawer proposition to me for the coordinators, for the quarterback, for everybody. Burn your ships, man, because you're only going to probably play them one time this year.
So I want to let Chiz. They call you Chiz. I want to let Chiz go. But before we go, see, we've seen the principal party. We've seen Sharon in the game. He's 2-0. I was on CBS earlier today, and they said, Sharon's going for his second victory in this game. He's going for his third. He was the interim coach in the championship year, so this would be his third victory. We know what he's like in this game. We know what some of the other coaches are like in this game. This will be our first time seeing Chip in this game. So, give us a feel for what you know about Chip Lindsey in the heat of battle, what you know about him when the chips are down, what you know about him when the battle is thick, and just we've seen the Chip Lindsey offense. If you could describe it, what's his style? What's his game? What does he bring to the table? What should we look for in a matchup like this?
Well, the first thing is I think Chip is a very judicious coach in terms of being able to evaluate everything and really keep everything in perspective, right? When you go into these rivalry games, and Al's been in this one, he's been in the Iron Bowl, he's been in some of the biggest games in college football. To me, it's always about process over emotion, right? And I think that's one thing Chip is going to stick to, right? Like, you got to dance with who brung you, right? That's kind of the old Bum Phillips deal, right? So whatever we were good at, whatever is our best stuff, he's going to stick to that. He's not going to go off the reservation trying to create a bunch of new stuff, hoping that on game day, let's keep our fingers crossed right now that we can execute that, right? So he's going to know what to execute. He's going to be very calm, in the battle. He's not going to freak out. He knows what he wants to call. He's going to be very judicious about the things that Bryce can handle. This is an emotional game. He's going to coach him hard on handling chaos. He's going to coach him hard on, what happens if we turn the ball over the first 2 out of 3 series? What next? What's our response? Handling the chaos is huge. He's going to talk to him about situational football. There's nothing more important in games like this than being able to handle situational football. What does that mean? What are my expectations when it's 3rd and 2? What are my expectations in the low red zone and it's third and goal on the 4? What are my expectations when we've got 1:30 left with 1 timeout, 70 yards to go before half, and we need a field goal? This is what we're trying to do. So the situational football part, he'll be well versed in as well. So I feel very confident that Chip is going to give them the best opportunity to win. He's not going to panic. He's been in the Iron Bowls. He's been in games like this. I sat right next to him up in the booth calling games at North Carolina when he was coaching Drake May. And I know he doesn't panic. So he's going to have a very well thought out game plan. It's going to be very judicious based on what the quarterback, Bryce, can handle. And he's going to do what got him there. He's going to do the things he needs to do to give Michigan the best chance to win. And that's who Chip Lindsey is. He's not a panicker. He's not jittery. He's not a flippant, let's change everything because it's the Ohio State game. That's not him. So he'll handle everything really, really well. Will that equate to a victory? I don't know. You can handle everything great as a coach and a player, and that doesn't always guarantee victory. But I can guarantee you that going into the game, he's going to do everything that he knows after a lot of years of doing this. He's going to do everything that he thinks is in the best interest of winning for Michigan, in the best interest of Bryce executing as a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, Gene, hey, man, I appreciate you taking time here right before the holiday to come and spend with us Michigan folks as get ready for the game. Give us some perspective on Chip. Give us some perspective from you as you got a chance to see Michigan really up close as they were building towards Saturday. That all started back in the winter and the spring, building up to this point. So thanks a lot for your time. We lost Al. The technical difficulty finally got him. But
That's all right. Hey, and I want to tell you this, guys. I'm coming to the game.
Okay.
I'm so excited to come to this game. So we need a Michigan win, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do, Chiz. We do.
Oh, he's
we
still
need
there.
Michigan to win, and this place runs a lot better when they win. Okay, the attitudes are a lot better. The heads are. Everybody's excited about life. The alternative is unbearable.
Oh, I know.
Hey, man. Right. Thanks a lot. And we'll see you up here on Saturday. All the fans, we got thousands of fans watching. Be sure to tell Chiz, hey, tell them go blue. Thanks a lot, Chiz. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, betcha.
Thanks a lot. That was Gene Chizik. Hey, Al, go spend some time with Susan, man.
All right, buddy. I'll let you guys go because once of you a week is enough for me. Okay. At this point, I need you in doses. Okay, doses, Sam. You guys take it easy.
All right, thanks a lot. That was gorgeous, who was with us. Hey, man. That dude, he said 5 games into the season. He said, Cam, hey, get out of here. Hey, that dude's not going to be around. Yeah, I think they're going to run Bryce at least 10 times in this game. At least 10 times. I don't think it's any question that's going to be a part of the recipe of balancing the equation in a game where they're going to be moving around so much and they will sacrifice. One of the things that they do for their disguise, they will sacrifice position to keep their disguise. It's going to leave them out of position a lot. I'm running my quarterback to take advantage of that a good deal. So it's going to be an interesting chess match in this contest. Running the quarterback and throwing to the running backs. I think it's going to be one of the big or two of the big keys offensively for Michigan in this game. Remember I said that.
Hey, Coach, we start talking like that, that's when we had a term for him the last 2 seasons called insider trading. Sam has been a student of the game, and Sam knows a lot of football, but Sam got connections. And when he started talking like that, when it comes to recruiting, game plan, a lot of other stuff, hey.
It's inside.
Insider trading right here, man.
If they had told me that, I certainly would come over here and tell them they gave. For sure. I watched some of the games Patricia coached in the NFL and how watching anyway. I've seen enough Matt Patricia.
Well,
and saw what's gotten me. So
yeah, and going against him in the NFL, I've been a part of some of Matt Patricia's defenses, and you're exactly right. He will sacrifice a look to get you into something different. And what you have to do is, like, and Coach said it the right way, the extra hat in the run game is going to be perfect for that. But then not only that extra hat in the run game, play action pass off of it. Because once you get that guy there, he's down in that box. You have to account for it, right? And then, like you say, the backs in the zone, the uneven zones underneath coverages is going to be wide open. However, I will say this. And I know Coach said the emotional aspect of the game, you have to keep that to a bay. You sprinkle more fuel on that emotion, because that's what gets that thing going. That's the truly thing in this game, is the emotional aspect of this game. And if you can practice there, and I know when I was there, and when I was there as a coach at Michigan, and being able to get those guys to play emotionally high, because they say all the time now, you never fall to the level of preparation. You never rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of preparation. And so you have to practice that way too as well. Get them going.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Coach, because as a basketball guy, listening to the talk, amongst the media and even hearing Jeremiah Smith make comments on the podcast, like, I wonder if, like, sometimes these young guys think that you can rile yourself up to a win. No, you got to prepare. You got to study. You got to be in the film room. You got to take care of your body that way you're ready. That's the same thing for basketball, right? Like
Yep.
you could sit in your room and ruminate and talk to your friends and we're gonna win, we're gonna. That's not good. Like that's not gonna. All that doesn't do anything. Neither side can do any more talking, any more posturing that's gonna make them play any harder on Saturday, right? So that's one thing that I get a kick out of sometimes. As a basketball player, we used to play Michigan State. You hear a little talk from both sides, and it's like, oh, and from their side, like man, that's nothing you say is going to make us play any harder Saturday. So you might as well just focus on your job.
Yep.
But they say Michigan just, hey, nothing special about them.
Like, dude, like you've been punched in the mouth twice already. Once already. You're afraid you're a sophomore, so once already. Relax.
Here's my thing. Like he can say that because
no, he can't. He's the only one.
Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. He can say that because him, relative to everybody else, physically, he's like that. Here's the problem. Everybody on that team ain't like him.
Right.
Like everybody ain't you. So can the rest of them dudes carry that weight? Can the rest of them dudes handle that smoke? That's the question.
And he played wide receiver. Like you're not out there blocking and tackling and hitting folks like the other like the other guys, man. Hey, play your position, man. Let them.
Because Ryan Day certainly can't handle it. He certainly can't. Like, hey, man, the last dude that want this to be a tight game. Oh, they better be blowing Michigan out heading into the fourth quarter. Oh my God. If it's a close game, oh my God. Because here's the thing, and I've been talking about it all last year. All I was talking about all week, I kept saying, and I even said that in retrospect, I can talk about it now. I'm saying this to the coaches. I was like, man, y'all just gotta get into the fourth quarter. And it was funny because I started hearing them say it in interviews. I was like, hey, that's my lie. Just get into the fourth quarter. It's hey, get into the fourth quarter. Ryan Day can't handle that smoke, right? So, and it was true, but it was true. This year, think about this is a 9-2 football. I know it's been frustrating watching them, especially offensively at times. They don't have no business being 9-2, bro. They really don't in the grand scheme of things. Because when you look at them relative to especially who is across the field from them right now, and you look at the last 2 years of the Harbaugh era, as I've been pointing out all week, those recruiting classes are not anywhere close to what Ohio State had. More so than normal. Those classes were barely top 20. Barely. And so it's like, why is that? Like Michigan, that gotta be the only national champion to have their recruiting classes get worse. How do you get worse recruiting classes coming off a national championship? That don't make no sense, right? But that was the reality for Michigan. Because your head coach has serious dalliances with the National Football League. And NIL is not hitting like everybody else. It's the convergence of those things where you're not recruiting at a high level. And so for 2 cycles, there's distance that's being put between you and the other teams that you're competing with at the top of college football. So now when there's a transition, you got a hole to fill as far as championship caliber roster. And so Ryan Day lost to Michigan at the low point of the roster. Now you're starting to build it back up. The hole in the roster. That's why you see so many freshmen playing now. Like, what are you playing? 6 freshmen on offense? Like, that's why. And so if you're Ryan Day, okay, now last year was a low point talent-wise, especially on offense. Yeah, you still had some holdovers from the championship team on defense, especially. But relatively speaking, low point talent-wise for your overall roster. Now you start to, when you look at your overall roster, you start to get your overall roster talent start to build back up, but it's younger.
Yeah.
And so they're playing, and so the schedule, the roster, the record comes back up, and you're up to 9-2. But man, you better get them now. You better get them now. Because if you're Ryan Day and you don't get them right now, bro, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Like Bernie Mac say, trouble, big trouble. This is gonna be serious. So hey, he know. Like they don't know. The fans don't know. They just see all the signs. They think they're on cloud 9. They got Michigan down. Y'all in trouble if y'all don't get Michigan this year. Like serious trouble. You think four is bad? Because if he can't get them now, it ain't happening. You might as well cancel Christmas for a long time. Because it's over. It ain't coming back. My opinion. What say you?
I mean, I think you hit a lot of the things on the head. But when and I had this conversation with somebody, a couple of weeks ago about the recruiting class, quote unquote, not being better than it was, or the talent being better than it was. Sometimes you tend to recruit what you want to recruit as a personnel. You're looking at personnel and fit more so than athleticism, and attitude more so than those things. And I think as you said, as we're starting to see some of these young guys that's playing, it's starting to mold and it's starting to grow into the Michigan that they want it to be, right? And it's the Michigan that they want it to be. And I think that they're on the right track of what they're doing. Now, need a couple more pieces to some older guys, but I think they're on the right track. I really do. I really do think they're on the right track with who they have in their arsenal and what they're recruiting and what they're doing. Because I always say every coach and every coordinator has the right to pick what he wants. And it may not look to us as the best recruiting class, but they're the ones who's coaching them. They're the ones who's sitting in that game film every night and saying, this is what we need and this is what we got to bring in here. So that's what I'm looking at as the Michigan team right now. And as you said, man, if they don't get them this year, no, it's gonna be hard on them.
Yeah. Let's be clear, Sam. If they, no matter what happens this year, it's gonna be a tough ride for them boys the next couple of years with the guys that Sharon and crew, Coach Moore and crew are bringing in. They're doing a really good job recruiting, and you can see the development is still there as well. Like I know everybody wants to question after, but Coach Moore and his staff have shown that they can continue to develop guys, and they're starting to get a lot of high-end guys too. So I always look at recruiting where there's kind of tiers to the level of athletes in recruiting. You have guys that fit, like Coach said, that fit what you do or fit your program at all of those tiers. And now Michigan is starting to get those guys that are top 10, top 15 in the country. And hopefully they're the right fit as well. And if they continue to do that, then what will it look like when we have one of those? I hate to put like it's been an Ohio State style, roster when it comes to recruiting rankings and all that type of stuff. It'll get ugly for everybody. So I'm as a former basketball player and a fan, I'm excited about what Coach Moore is doing with the program.
Yeah, what I look at is where it's concentrated. Look at the trenches. They have loaded up in these recruiting classes in the trenches. I mean, you could almost question whether they. I mean, is it too focused in the trenches? I mean, dog.
You can never be too focused in the trenches.
Okay, and that's their philosophy. That's their philosophy, because it's about to be crazy. Offensive line and defensive line, the recruiting over the last few cycles is loaded in the trenches. And as those guys mature, like next year's offensive line, that's why I say, Ryan, that he better get them now. Because the offensive line, I mean, you're talking about babies. Blake Frazier is 295 pounds playing left tackle. You got Guinera in there at guard, is a redshirt freshman, right? He's probably of the weight you want him to be, but he'll be a center. He'll be bigger. You got Sprague, but if I'm them, I'm sliding Sprague inside. I'm sliding Link inside. I'm playing Frazier at one tackle. I'm playing Babalola at the other tackle. Guinera at center. And I'm saying, let's go. I'm athletic. I'm big. I'm physical. Like, what are you going to do? And then I got dudes coming in behind him. Man, you don't get them now. And then he got 6 defensive linemen coming in this class. After you just got some edge guys in the man, you better get them now. You better get them now. Because they
got some young Coach Wheatleys coming in too, Sam.
So
They got some young stud running backs coming in to play behind those big boys. All them big boys you just mentioned too. So
yeah, now you
the
need
formula's not gonna change.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
yeah. They need to get those sexy receivers too. Make no mistake, they ain't doing that in the recruiting class. It's a big
And they got,
litmus test going to be in the portal for receivers for sure.
Okay.
But they are.
but they got a good book. And you talk about the receivers. Shoot, you got them young guys out there right now. Some big young guys out there. The receivers, long, big, young receivers out there. So, one of the big things that playing at Michigan and during the era when it wasn't about the national championship, it was always win the Big Ten, dominate the Big Ten, right? And I think they're kind of going back to that. What does it take to dominate the Big Ten? But as in anything in football, yeah, you need speed, you need all that other stuff, but it's just the physicality of it all. Just if you, I always say if you just build a team with speed, them jokers got to run into somebody at some point in time. This is a game. That's speed, but that speed gonna run into something.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to this this commercial so we can talk some basketball. This is Zeke Berry. He gets ready for the game.
I want to thank Sean for actually giving me the opportunity to be the ambassador for Golden Limousine. Them, actually seeing, what I can do for their company, and seeing like the story behind me, and being like, okay, I want this guy to represent, our company. I feel like Sean is, giving me a chance, seeing what I've been through, my story. He's given me a chance to, change my life around. When getting ready for a game, the last thing I want to worry about is am I going to make it there safe? And when riding with Golden Limousine, that's never a concern. When riding on the bus, I sit back and relax, go over the game plan, and make sure I always have my music. This allows me and my teammates to focus on the game and not worry about our safety. I can cover on the field because Golden Limousine has me covered on the road. The first thing I notice when riding with Golden Limousine is before I even get in the vehicle, the driver comes out and grabs my bags for me. And then when getting into the vehicle, I see that the vehicle is spotless, I have my water, and the attention to detail is second to none. I got with Golden Limousine because of their professionalism, and to be honest, they just got my back. Sean gave me an opportunity after hearing my story. He decided to give me this opportunity of partnering with Golden Limo. I appreciate the way Golden Limousine handles their business by doing the little things right all the time, no matter what it is. The attention to details is the same way that I handle my business on and off the field. I appreciate Sean and Golden Limousine for seeing those things in me, and that's why I'll always ride on Golden Limousine.
Yes, sir. It's personal physique. This game coming up. He's looking to get a little payback. We'll see if he gets that opportunity. I don't think they're gonna do very much of leaving him on an island per se, at least not in the field. We'll see what happens in the game coming up this weekend. But announcement from our proud sponsor at Golden Limo. Zeke has been a proud ambassador for Golden Limo. They have signed up their first ambassador from the Michigan basketball program. His name is Mr. Trey McKinney. Trey McKinney is now a Golden Limo brand ambassador. He is signed up as an NIL ambassador for Golden Limousine. So they have said, hey, we are branching out. We are getting over to Michigan men's basketball and fitting that they have signed up a freshman, McDonald's All-American from Flint, Michigan. You know, I had to get that in there, as Trey is the first one from the hardwood to sign up with Sean Duvall and the crew over there at Golden Limousine, proud supporter of Michigan athletics and of course, all of the young athletes in their NIL endeavors. And soon they'll be doing the same thing with Michigan women's basketball as well. So great to hear. And we'll be connecting with Trey at some point here on Droppin Dimes. So looking forward to that. But fellas, this is an excellent segue as we round out the show. And I'll round it out with this question about basketball. And it's all encompassing as we talk. It's a question about Michigan men's basketball, Michigan women's basketball, and Pistons basketball. Hey, Lance, do we have an update on the Pistons? Did the Pistons win or did they lose? Did the Pistons win? Please tell me they won. Because if they won, they will have broken the streak. I mean, they will have broken the record. Because they had tied the record, the win streak record for the franchise. The franchise win streak record was 13 with the 90 and 04 championship teams. And they were going to break the record. 14 would have been the record if they beat the Celtics. So give me an update on that when you can. Losing 89-85 right now. They got to get the ball to Cade. They got to get the ball to Cade. Cade has been killing in the fourth quarter. So, but at any rate, so Pistons have been unbelievable. Even when Cade was out, and Cade was out for a period of time, Jalen Duren was out, and they brought in Dennis Jenkins and Paul Reed, and I mean, they had all these, Javante Green. I mean, they were just bringing in, I felt like randos, but they turned out not to be randos. And they in there, it's like they got a squad, like a legit squad.
Mm-hmm.
Like dudes that are not just culture fits, but dudes who can ball. Like Dennis Jenkins is giving you everything that Dennis Schroeder gave you, except younger and more athletic. Like, wait a minute. Maybe they don't need to make a trade. Maybe a trade to be too much. So let's stop there for a minute. Go over to Michigan women's basketball. Mm-hmm. Man, I've been watching Kim Rico for 13 years now, 14 years now. And I admit, I remember back, I was a Coquise Washington. I wanted them to go get Coquise. Coquise was, I think, at Penn State at the time. And then they said they went and got Kim Rico. I didn't know who she was. From St. John's. And then so she got here, I met her, and she started building a program, gritty, tough. We're going to rebound, we're going to play defense. And you start seeing her recruiting classes year after year get better and better and better and better, right? Then she got Naz Hillman, and that was like a big step, Elite Eight. And then something happened last year. So her best player, Layla Filia, decides to leave, go down to Texas right before the season, right? And it felt like everybody said they just going to fall off. They're just going to fall off. Oh, man. But Kim had the best class in school history coming in. Silas Swords, Olivia Olsen, Mila Holloway. These were the headliners. But she had an epic class coming in. And then she had some veterans decide, hey, we're going to stay. And we're going to hold it down. We're going to hold it down for the culture. Man, that team developed. It started with the first game where they went out against South Carolina, balled out, right? So, we're not going to fall off. So they wound up having a really good team. And Cheryl did not. We're going to keep it pushing. So they come back this year, get a big-time transfer in Kendall Dudley from UCLA, McDonald's All-American. Transferred from there. I was from a freshman year, sophomore coming in, putting all these pieces together, another good freshman class. Like, you know, and they blow the doors off of Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. Beat the brakes off of Notre Dame. And then it's time to go to UConn last Friday night. UConn, they come out and they playing some man defense. AZ Fudd is balling. I thought, see, people think I'm crazy. I thought AZ Fudd was the best player on their team last year. They say I'm crazy. Everybody pays Bukers. I thought AZ Fudd was that player. But anyway, she was killing them. Kim comes out after the break, throws a zone on him, sets him down, and then Sila is like, I'm going to do my Tyrone Wheatley. Give me the damn ball. Give me the damn ball. And Daniel, when I say she was on one,
She was on. Whoa.
she was on one.
Yeah.
She was on one. She was on one. Couldn't miss. Like, hey, all those shots AZ Fudd was hit unconscious. Unconscious. And so we ain't in the more her program is at a point where, you've been in Elite Eights and all of that. You don't do the moral victory thing no more. You can't I ain't just happy to be here. So this ain't that. But what it is, once you go to Connecticut and it's like, hey man, we were down 18 and y'all lucky to beat us. Y'all lucky to beat us. Because if we had started this game the way we finished it, y'all would have been out of here. Next time we see y'all, we got that ass. That's how they finished the game. And so the message or the lesson learned, what you learned about the team, wasn't a moral victory. It says that in the levels to this in college basketball, everybody else playing college basketball, that elite status that only a few teams have, like the UConns of the world. Michigan up there now, Daniel. Michigan up there. You beat Notre Dame by 40, and then you go to UConn. I guess it's neutral, but still, you go to Connecticut, and they barely escape. Oh, you elite. So now get over to Michigan men's basketball, and then I want y'all to tell me the answer to this question. Daniel Horton, San Diego State. Maybe you don't think they Dutch team as much of anything. Maybe you don't.
Yeah, keep going.
They beat the brakes off of them, though, Daniel. They treated San Diego State like they Oakland. Maybe you think they know better than Oakland. Okay, all right, Daniel. I figured you dismissed them. I figured Daniel would say,
I would.
You was going to say, I ain't impressed, Sam. I ain't impressed.
I would.
Okay, because I know you. I know you. You like DG. You a hater. You like DG. Okay. So that's why I was waiting. I was waiting for the Auburn game last night.
Keep going on them, too.
They came out the gate. Bruce Pearl didn't even prepare for the game, Dan. He didn't prepare for the game. He's sitting there watching the game cold, thinking his squad about to come out there and take care of Michigan. He said, "Oh, I didn't know Michigan was this good." Did you watch some film? Did you do scout report, Bruce? Hey, by halftime, hey, Bruce, get out of here, man. We're gonna get Jalen Chris in here to do the game, bro. You ain't even prepared. I mean, what is this? Daniel, they ran him out the gym, Daniel. They ran him out the gym. So now the question is, are we looking at the three best teams in basketball? At least potentially, are you willing to say we could potentially have the three best teams in basketball right here in the state of Michigan this year? Daniel Horton, what say you? Come on now.
As a amazing blue guy, I would love that to be true, but it's not. But we're on our way, though. I will say that we're on our way. I think we have a lot of basketball left to play on for all those teams, right? But the team I think I'm really impressed with is the Pistons, right? I think 2 or 3 years ago we had this conversation on the show, and you were really frustrated with where the Pistons were at the time. And I told you, Sam, just give it time. Like, I've been watching Cade Cunningham since he was a young blood. Every team, every program he's going to, a program changer or a franchise, now a franchise changer. He's that good, right? So I just told you, keep adding pieces. You add Jalen during, you add a couple other guys, and now here we are. They're if they win today, they'll be 16-2. Best record in the league, second best record in the league behind Oklahoma City, right? So that's extremely impressive for where the Pistons have come from, right? I think when you shift down to Michigan men's and women's basketball, that's impressive as well, because especially the men, right? It seems like the last 2 years, Dusty has 12 new players, 10, 11, 12 new players, and they find a way to be really good. And last year it was a lot of close wins, but this year now they're smacking folks. So I think this year they're primed and ready to make a deep run in the tournament. But I'm not quite ready to say that they're the best team in college basketball, right? I've watched a lot of basketball. I see a lot of Illinois is really good, Purdue, Michigan State, and just in conference, right? And then you get to the other guys nationally that are really good as well. So I think they have a chance to establish themselves as the best team in college basketball, but you got to play the games. So I'm definitely.
Look at those Pistons up by 4. Hey, Daniel, by the way, did you know that StreamYard have this detector that freezes the camera of anybody that's hating? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Anybody
you wasn't even listening. Coach Week, was I hating?
Anybody that's hating, they freeze.
I wouldn't say you were hating. That was your hey, listen, that was an honest opinion on you of what you thought. It was an opinion,
Thank you.
right?
I'm not hating. They're all three teams are, like I said, the Pistons are probably the most impressive given where they've come from over the last couple of years, right? And I think Michigan basketball, women, they're establishing themselves as elite programs. That's the reality of it. I'm not saying anything else. I don't know why that's hating the Sam. Sam want me to crown him, just like he wanted me to crown the kid from UAB. He's going to come here. Man, the kid averaging 13 points a game or something like that. He's playing well, but it's not what Sam said it was going to be. But I was hating, though, Coach Wheat. I was hating, Coach Wheat. I was hating when I said the guy when guys come from other levels, it's an adjustment when they get to this level. I'm hating, though.
His team is 6-0. Did you hear him talking to
No,
Chris Taylor after the game? He said, "Hey, I could go to a team where I could go and jack every shot, or I can come to a team like this."
Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that, Sam.
Yeah, well,
they pay you $3 million. You better produce. You better be averaging more than 13 points per game.
I come to a team like this where it's, hey, you know what? It ain't just about me getting mine all the time. I'm gonna pass the ball to Yaks. I'm gonna pass the ball to Adai. I'm gonna pass the ball to Morez. I got some guards who can shoot. We are a talented team. And so I'm gonna get my teammates off. I'm gonna get my teammates off too. Yeah, I'm gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna be the guy when they need me to be the guy, but I'm not gonna always force it to be that. Now, listen, there's a balance to it. You know, I want my alpha to be an alpha, but he was very clear that there's what's going on is in part of it is they're gelling. Another part of it is intentional. Like he know what he doing. I'm not just out here trying to go jack for mine. He said that last night.
So, yeah, that's exactly what you say when you go from averaging 17 to 13, 18 to 13. No matter what the situation is, that's what you're supposed to say.
Steve? Where you at, Steve?
That's what you're supposed to say. And I think he's a really good player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a really good player. But if you're paying with the money Michigan is spending, Sam, I need more than 13-7, my brother.
They're 6-0, Daniel.
That's 6 games into the season. We're not judging them about being 6-0. We're judging them if we're going to beat Purdue, Michigan State, and Illinois when it comes to winning Big Ten championships.
They beat San Diego State by 40.
Sam, I don't care. I'm a guy played in this conference. I'm waiting until we play Purdue on the road, Michigan State on the road, Illinois on. That's when I'm waiting to see if these guys are what they say they are. I think they're really good, though.
You're judging him for the points that he's had in recent games. And last night he had 17 and 9. He could have played later in the game when they up 30 and got 30.
But you're not gonna be up 30. You're not gonna be up 30 at Purdue. And if you only have 13 and 7, we play at Purdue or at Michigan State. That's not gonna get it done unless the whole team is just like you said. But that's not gonna. We know that's not gonna happen when we get in conference play. And so like these guys are they're on the right path to being what you say they are. I'm not saying they're not, Sam. They are damn good right now. But A, if I'm paying the guy what I've heard this kid is making, I need more. And B, I'm saving judgment for what I think they can be in totality when we get into conference play and teams have 2, 3, 4 days to prepare for them. And now we're back to playing real basketball now. So that's me. Everybody else looks at it differently. I don't hate it. I don't knock it. That's how I look at the game.
What you got for us, Wheat? What you got for us, man?
I'm gonna go back to the building the culture of it and winning the Big Ten. And I think when you're talking about building these teams, building the depth and getting this thing going, I do believe we are on the right track. I do believe we have the depth and getting there. I also believe that my man is I think basketball is a little bit different than football in the sense that you can start to try and get your team in it early and get them going. But when it's time for you to go be that man and go be that guy, you can turn it on and off in basketball and just say, okay, I can go be this guy. I can give you the 17. I can give you the 21 I need it. But right now, let me be the facilitator. Let me get my people in. Let's try and get this thing going together so we could do this thing. But at the end of the day, when you, like you say, you go to Purdue and you go to Michigan State and you go into Ohio State, if I'm not knocking it down the way I'm supposed to, then hell, I got to get everybody else in this system, get them going, and where it's just not me that you're looking at, and you got to get everybody together. But I do like it. I do like where we are right now.
Hey, this
in a
game
good spot.
against Gonzaga tonight is going to be a real. So okay. So and if they lose to Gonzaga tonight, then that'll put a dent in the basketball.
No, it won't.
World.
No, it
No,
won't. No,
no,
it won't. That's what I'm saying. Like, Sam, you think I'm hating, but I look at it, I keep it, I'm fair about it. If they lose tonight, it's not going to change anything. What matters and what the games that matter are the games in January, February, when you're on the road at Illinois, you're on the road at Wisconsin, when you're playing at home against Purdue. Those are the games that matter right now. These are exhibition showcases against other teams from other conferences, and we look damn good right now.
So, but my question
but so does Illinois. What's Illinois' record? What's Purdue's record?
Okay,
all the top level team. Michigan State just punched a hole in Kentucky last week.
Right. Okay. I understand.
Come on,
You're making a down the line assessment. I'm talking about right here, right now. I said, are we talking about the three best teams in basketball right now, today? And so if they lose to Gonzaga tonight, that will put a dent in my belief that, hey, we could be talking about the three best teams in college basketball right now. We'll see. But if they beat Gonzaga tonight, hey, man, hey, bro. Now, hey, they may not be the best in the long run, to your point. I mean, they might run into some teams that can expose the fact that they don't really have a backup point guard. Not yet. I mean, we got to see how LJ Son really develops.
Yeah, all these and Sam, all these teams have weaknesses, right? Whether it's Michigan, whether it's Michigan State, whether it's Purdue. So, but we're only talking about Michigan on this. So it may seem like I'm hating, but if you ask me about Purdue, if you ask me about any of these other teams, I see their weaknesses, I see their flaws, and I can see how they can be beat when they play other good teams. The same goes for Michigan, right? We have a really good team there and a really good moment right now. Like, as a coach, you wouldn't want to be any other spot than where they are right now. 6-0, still developing, still learning about your team, showing flashes of being great. Not just good, great. But doing that in November, it means something when it comes to development. It means nothing when it comes to winning championships later on in the season. And so that's what I think for Dusty. I know a lot of Michigan fans want to put it on Michigan's a Final Four team and shit. Man, don't put those expectations on him in the second year. He's still building the program. These guys are really good, but there's still steps to take. Listen, as far as where Michigan is as a program.
I hear what you're saying. But you said two different things. First, you said you expect Yaks to be like what? I don't know what it is. What the?
Yeah, that. So what I'm saying about him is, as a guy who is expected to be the best player on the team for free. When I look at these guys nowadays, whether it's Yaxel or whether it's somebody from another team, it doesn't matter, Sam. That's what I'm saying. It's not. We just talk about Michigan on the show, so it seems like I'm talking about specific. But this is how I feel about basketball in general. Whether it's Yaxel or whether it's a kid from another Kentucky that's making $3-4 million a year, or the kid Lamont Wilkerson, who I scouted a lot last year, that's playing really well for Indiana right now. Man, you getting paid this money, you're expected to produce. I don't care. I don't care what your team's record is. All that. I do care. You should be undefeated. You should want to win every game. But as a guy making that type of money, hey man, I could go get a guy for much less than average 13 and 7.
Yeah, so
that's just me.
Yeah, you don't go get the number one guy in the portal
to expect him to average 13 and 7. You
don't go get the number one guy in the portal to be going to the first round of the tournament or even the second round. Hey man, you trying to make a run.
Yeah,
that's they trying to win the Big Ten championship. They try to go farther than last year. That's the goal they set.
Right.
So that's what it is. But
hey, listen, Sam, if our best player, if we're playing at Purdue on the road and our best player has 13 and 7, if I told you that right now, do you think we'll win?
It depends on what
exactly. It shouldn't be it depends.
It depends on
when they give Tyrone Wheatley the ball 20 times and they playing a game to in the Big Ten to win it. Back, it's been proven he's probably gonna have 150, 175 yards and a couple touchdowns.
What did a die do?
Hey, Coach Wheat, what's the saying y'all have in football? Big time players do what?
What did a die do? Because the other day that dude had 17, 10, and 7 or something like that.
No, ask Coach Wheatley. What do big time players? What's the saying y'all have in football?
Perform big time games. You gotta go.
See, but
you gotta go.
Point when you got multiple players capable of going off, that is the thing, and that's his point. He's like, hey man, I want a team with other guys who can really get theirs, and so there may be nights. Where I'm setting guys up more because they really own theirs.
Sammy averaged 3 assists per game. Sam.
There may be nights, and he may discover as they get only 6 games in. That he may discover, hey, it may not be that many of those nights.
Yeah, and let me stop
that out. But they 6-0.
Coach Wheat, Sam has a way of bringing it out of me, right? I really like the kid as a player, right? I was excited when Michigan got him. I think he's a really good player, right? But I'm just like, for me, as a guy who's been in those shoes, I feel like if I was in the locker room or around the team, I'm pushing him to be more dominant. If Michigan wants to get to where they want to get to when we get to play in the Dukes and those teams of the world, if we do make a deep tournament run, this kid is gonna have to be a 25 and 20 and 10 guy at least.
But how are they? Wait, but hold on. Wait a minute.
I said.
But then
what did I say?
You asking him to do something different than what they asking him to do. The man has been a 4 or 5.
Sam, it don't matter what they asking him to do when it comes down to getting busy. Matter. You got to get busy.
Yes, it does. He been a 4 or 5. They asking him to be a 3 4, and we want you to dribble. We want you to dribble, pass, and shoot. Now, and so that includes setting up other guys. Now, that ain't what they was asking him to do at UAB.
Say, man,
he ain't trying to be an assist man.
They're not asking him to be no point guard or a prime. They're asking him to do some ball handling. They're asking him to do some of that. They're asking him to do some of that. They're not asking him to. No, Sam. They're not asking him to do that primarily. They're asking him to do some of that.
I'm a point forward. Did you hear him say?
I don't care what he said. That's not, man. If he wants to, if he's watching the game that I'm watching, if Michigan wants to dominate, continue to dominate when we play against the teams that I mentioned earlier. If he's going to turn into a finesse guy and look to facilitate against big boy from Purdue, against the bigs from Michigan State, we're going to get in trouble. We need him to dominate, not facilitate. There's a difference.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing. Man, you know more basketball than
that's not what I'm saying either. I don't want to go that route with it because I don't want to go that route with it.
I'm saying you have forgotten more basketball than I will ever know. I understand that. But what I'm telling you is the man is saying, I consider myself a point forward for a reason. He didn't just get here and just start thinking that. They obviously
Sam, he averages 3 assists per game.
I get it.
And he's not a point forward. He can pass. He's not a point forward.
Why is he saying that unless they telling him something to make him think?
Well, they need to stop telling him that. If I'm coaching him, I'm telling him to go dominate. You got the ability to go out there and get 25 and 10. Go get 25 and 10. And he has that ability. Go get it.
He does have that ability.
Go get it. I don't care about you averaging 5 assists. Go get me 25 and 10. Dominate these boys. Lead Michigan to the promised land. And hey, I'm all hugs and smiles and sunshine and rainbows like everybody else.
Hey,
Like,
maybe it's a balance to it, but yeah, he was on that. Yeah,
hey,
I mean,
Sam,
just
I don't want to hear no point forward talk. And you 13 and 7 and 3. Now, if you was averaging 13 and you was averaging 6, 7, 8 assists a game, then I would be willing to more
different.
inclined to hear that point forward talk. But right now, this sounds like an excuse because you're not dominating. Those 2 preseason games, he had 30 points and 10 plus rebounds, and he dominated. That's the guy that I'm waiting to see again. That's the guy I want to see. If he does that, Michigan, hey, Final Four, national championship run, all of that. I'm with y'all on that. But until I see that again, I'm on the fence.
I would play the interview if I didn't think we were gonna get flagged for copyright. But it was, hey, you can hear the man talk for himself.
Hey, if he watches the show, hey, Yax, I know my screen frozen, but if you watch this show, brother, you are not a point forward. Go dominate, please.
But the point, but so you're saying the right thing though. Like you said, the preseason game, that's where I was saying we saw it, right? We saw it. We saw he had the capability to go do it. I just think right now he's in the moment of just saying, hey, let me just see what my guys, who they are, what they are. Like you say, facilitate, let me see it. And I do believe when it's time for him to go, I do believe he can step it up and go. Yeah. I do believe it. I believe he'll step up.
I believe he can too. I believe he can too. Coach.
And you want to see it right now, all the time.
Yeah, I need to see it all. I'm one of them guys. I need to see it every day. I need to see it in practice. I need to see it tonight against Gonzaga. I need to then, after we fly back home and get a day of rest and we show up to practice on Friday after Thanksgiving, I need to see it in practice again. And then I need to see it the next game. Greatness is Coach, greatness is an everyday thing. It's not I'm a pick and choose something. Even in basketball, it's not I'm a pick and choose when I want to be great, especially when you're 23, 24-year-old guy playing against 18 to 20. Hey, man, go be great every freaking day. Go get it. And I think if he does that, he'll get drafted high, and Michigan will get everything they're looking for. So that's where I'm at with it, Sam.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Love you to death.
Don't get me started. If you get me started on the point guard play, then we're really for a long time.
I don't think the dude is a point guard. Oh, you talking about something else. I don't think the dude is a point guard, nor do I think he is a point forward. I think the instruction or the motivation, the intent is there to get him to say, you want to know why he's doing what he's doing, why there's some deference to his teammates. I think hey man, we want you to, what he's trying to do, at least for this point in time. Yeah, man, I'm trying to share the ball. I got some teammates. I'm trying to get off. I ain't trying to always get mine. That's what's going on. I don't think it's an excuse. I think that's why he's saying, I'm trying to be a point.
Okay. Let's give him 2 more hockey assists. Let's give him 2 or 3 more hockey assists to go with 3 real assists. Okay, he's a point forward. I'm done. Y'all right. Y'all right.
Okay, so you may be right. So maybe he's not one he's trying to be. And it may ultimately be the case that he can't be one. And then they say, okay, all right, don't do that anymore. To your point, this is the preseason, right? Isn't this when you try that kind of stuff?
In his defense, I've never been on a team that good, so we didn't have the room to try anything, right? We out here trying to win every night. So I've never played on a team in college that was good enough to just go out and try stuff. So hey, maybe that's what they got. Maybe they have that formula, that thing, that process with Dusty and his staff to where we got enough talent and size and versatility to where we can try different combinations and lineups and strategies.
There you go.
All that type of stuff. Cool. I understand that. I coach basketball, Sam. I get it. But I've never been in there. I've never been on a team to where even in high school, when we were the best team in the state of Texas, I'd never had a game or a coach where we approached where we're going to try this tonight and see if we're going to work on this tonight and see if it works. No, we going out and do what we practice every day, and we go out to win the game. So I can't speak to that line of thinking. Maybe that's maybe a fan way or Somebody else, I've never approached the game that way. So
Gotcha. Well, fellas, that's going to wrap up the show. We went a little longer. We had a great slate of guests. Wanted to treat you guys right here on the holiday. I'm surprised we didn't have any Buckeyes show up. I thought for sure the Buckeyes would show up because they feeling real kind. They say the same thing every year. But I guess they aren't feeling as boastful as the players are. And it's Ryan Day, because Ryan Day said it's fun to kick ass. I'm like, damn, that's funny. I mean, maybe you get that from the perspective of getting your ass kicked. I mean, because I don't know the last time he kicked some, at least Michigan ass. So we shall see, though. We shall see what happens on Saturday. In the meantime, in between time, fellas, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate this show. We've had a couple thousand people in here with us tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. You enjoyed Coach Gene Chizik, who came on with us tonight, gave us some insight and perspective on his experience up here in Ann Arbor, coming up in spring ball. He said he's going to be here Saturday, so you see Gene Chizik walking around. It's I always laugh when Southern guys come up in the dead of winter. It's going to be like 28 degrees and snowing. So I just kind of want to see how he handles that, right? So, but you see Gene Chizik around, tell him go blue. So, give him some love as he's walking around here. And thank him for stopping by Dropping Dimes and root on the Wolverines to beat that ass for these Buckeyes. Give me that. Yeah, give me the right, the other sign. There you go, Lance. Before we get out of here. Have a great Thanksgiving, fellas, and to all of you guys watching us here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all on the next edition of Steady Dropping Dimes.
yes, sir.
Have a good one.